Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the railway. Hornby have just released a brand new train set and it is their cheapest train set by a considerable margin. Everything in this train set is brand new, it's never been made before, and today I've got one and we're going to take a look at it and we'll find out whether it's a good fit for you and your youngsters. For quite a few years now, Hornby have had their playtrains range, and playtrains is a range of extremely cheap toy trains which are great for kids or beginners. But I have to be honest and say I've never liked the playtrains range. I think it serves an incredibly important function, and that is it offers an extremely cheap and easy way for youngsters and kids to get access to model railways. And this is so important. Almost every other manufacturer besides Hornby creates models designed for people who are already converted into model railways. But nobody is thinking about the next generation. And when we're all retired and we've got rubbish pensions and we can only afford to buy one new model a year, it is going to be the next generation that carries this hobby. So even if you don't have kids that you want to share this hobby with, you should care about this. But I think the way Hornby went about playtrains up to now was bad. First of all, the design of the trains themselves I think was a mistake. They went for this generic looking diesel or electric train and they put a face on it. And I think this was the wrong decision. I think kids much prefer steam. Now, it's been suggested in a very high profile way that kids these days prefer diesels and electric trains because they're not familiar with steam. If they go anywhere on a train, they'll be on a diesel or an electric, and so that's what kids prefer. And I say poppycock. I don't agree with that at all. I think steam is way more interesting to kids. There's so much more motion in a steam train. You've got the moving wheels, you've got the rods on the side, you've got the sounds of a steam train, the chuffing, the iconic whistles, way more appealing. And of course, the biggest reason why kids prefer steam is Thomas and Friends. Right, most of the most popular characters in Thomas and Friends are steam trains. So to say kids aren't familiar with steam and they don't like it, that's nonsense. Kids love steam. The other big problem with Hornby's existing playtrains is that it's battery operated, which is fundamentally a good idea because you don't want metal rails passing electricity to the trains for kids. The rails get dirty, they need cleaning, the trains don't work properly. If you get connection issues, again, the trains don't work. Battery operated trains is the right idea for this, but it's so incredibly inconvenient. The locomotive itself takes 4 AA batteries, which cost a fair bit, and when those batteries die, you also have to replace them. The remote uses AAA batteries, so that's a different sort of battery that you've also got to buy. That'll last longer, but also they'll need replacing too. It's a big headache. I did not like playtrains, but Hornby have just released a brand new wave of playtrains models, and I think this really will be a game changer. So here it is. This is the new Santa's Express, and I do apologise for bringing you a Christmas train set in August. I know that's crazy, but it's just the fact that this one came out first. There are other train sets and models in this same range though that are not Christmassy. For example, you've also got the Steam Goods Express train set, which is basically the same thing, but it's non-Christmas, and it comes with a bit more track as well. Plus you can get the locos by themselves, which is awesome. Look at this gorgeous green engine. Again, very cheap. The engine by itself is £22.49. But this train set is amazing value. So the full price of this train set is £39.99, and at the retailers you can pick this up for £35.99. For an entire train set these days, that is unbelievable, and I have to take my hat off for Hornby for this. We know how much Hornby struggle with reasonable prices. This is a fantastic price and just what we needed, I think. Also, this is a battery operated train, but now the locomotive contains a rechargeable battery. So you don't have to buy and replace AA batteries when you need those. You can literally just plug this thing in and you can recharge it. Also, as you can see, we now have a steam locomotive. I think this is going to appeal much more to kids. Very good idea. So, all the trains in this train set are new tooled, they've never been seen before, they're not just reused from other brands that Hornby owns. This is freshly designed for the UK, I think, and I'm really excited about that. Investment in this range, I hope, will be very lucrative for Hornby. So let's see what this is like. Is it worth picking up in time for Christmas? And is this a big improvement over the existing playtrains? Well, let's see. And to say this is an entire train set, this comes in a tiny box, which is great. This is not going to fill your cupboard before you've even opened the box. It packs away very small. That is very handy. But anyway, let's not talk too much about the box. Let's open this up and let's see exactly what we get inside. And this is a basic train set, so it's toy grade. Keep that in mind. You're not going to be getting a brilliant, super detailed Hornby model here. It's basic stuff, but that's kind of the idea. And look at that. That looks awesome. I love the engine. We've got weird track. Why is the track white like that? That's very, very odd. And then we do have instructions which are printed in colour. So I'll have a quick look at this. So this is what you get inside: the loco, 2 pieces of rolling stock, the track, and the USB-C charger. Here's how you plug the track pieces together. They're plastic, not metal, so they're good and safe, and they just clip together like that. This is a circuit so that it can go underneath your Christmas tree, but there are going to be other train sets in this range which have different track formations, which is awesome. Charging, all right, so we've got the USB port just on the bottom there, so you flip the loco onto its side to charge it. The charging time is approximately 2.5 hours, which immediately makes this better than using AA rechargeables, which can take 8 to 12 hours to recharge usually. 2.5 hours to charge, that's not bad at all, and apparently a complete charge will last 2.5 hours. So if you have 2 of these, you can have a locomotive in service 24 hours a day. Not bad. We've got the flashing light on the front of the engine indicating whether or not the loco's charged. That is awesome, so it flashes when charging. It'll be steady when it's fully charged. Here's how you put them onto the track. The couplings are magnetic, so no faffing around with difficult couplings. That's fantastic. Oh my goodness, the operation. So there's no nasty, visible, unrealistic, illusion spoiling switch. Apparently the dome on the locomotive is the switch. So you press the dome, that switches on the locomotive with sounds. The second press turns the sounds off. That will be the favourite function of all the parents, I imagine. And then the third press will turn off the locomotive. Brilliant little interface there. And that reveals something I didn't realise, and that is that there is no remote control with this train set, which is disappointing in one way. It is fun to remotely control trains, but it also simplifies things, and it means that you don't need to provide any batteries whatsoever. Right, so yeah, it really is basic. We just have the track, the locomotive and the train, and the USB charger. It is simplicity itself. Let's get some of this out. Right, so we'll start with the track. Let's unclip this. Yeah, it's weird that it's painted white, but I guess the idea is that it'll look like snow or something like that. I don't think all of the Hornby playtrain sets are going to have the white track from now on. But yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks just like Hornby's regular track. It's got all the detail. It's just plastic instead, the rails, that is. Right, let's have a look at the engine then. This is what I'm really looking forward to seeing. Let's take this out. Okay. Oh, that is actually really cute. Obviously, it's very basic. It's nothing fancy, this. But it is brand new tooled. This has never been seen before, I don't think. It is beautifully painted, actually. That looks really lovely. There's the button on the top. Oh, my goodness, it works. We'll do the performance test later on. Yeah, I forgot that this has already got batteries in it. Yeah, we'll look at this in a little more detail later on. But yeah, that is a beautiful little thing. The rolling stock, though, looks even better, if you ask me. So let's snip this out. So this says Santa's Workshop. This is the brand new box van that has been tooled up. And it's not a bad little thing, you know. Yeah, it's got some nice details on the side, nicely painted. It's got sort of a bit of brake rigging on the bottom, kind of. And it does have plastic wheels, which I guess is what you'd expect, but you can't have metal wheels with pinpoint axles in a toy train set because danger and stabbing and eye injury and all of that stuff. So yeah, this is great. Yeah, beautiful little thing. And then the open wagon, which I really, really liked when I saw this come out of the box. Here it is. So what does this say? Mrs. Claus Gift and Candy Shop, handmade by elves. So yeah, a beautiful little open wagon with a load of painted presents. Or actually they're not painted, they're sort of individually moulded and stuck onto this load, which is removable. Look at that. So that right there is some play value, isn't it? You can load and unload the train. This really shows that Hornby have thought about who this train set is for. So yeah, I'm impressed with that. And of course we've got the USB cable here. So let's have a much closer look at some of these models very quickly. Then we'll set up the train set and see how it all works. So here it is, up close and personal for you, Hornby's brand new Santa's Express. And the first thing to say is you'll notice I've got this sitting on a piece of standard metal model railway track. Now obviously this will work on the plastic track that comes with the set, but these playtrains models also work on standard metal track, which is really important to say, because if your youngster wants to take this to their granddads and show granddad their trains, they can put this onto granddad's real model railway layout and these trains will work on it. That is brilliant. The other thing that is absolutely amazing about these trains is the design of them. This train set is probably the cleverest thing I've ever seen Hornby do. And yeah, that is including all of their seriously detailed super high-tech models. The designer that came up with this is a genius. And whether it was a single person or a team, they have done a fantastic job. And I mean this seriously, they deserve a raise. The way this model has been put together is so incredibly well thought out. So would you believe me if I said this model can be made with zero painting, absolutely zero, and a bare minimum of separately fitted parts? So no painting? Yes, that's right. The whole red section here is just moulded in red plastic, and other coloured sections like the black smoke box or the green button or the green roof of the cab, those are just separate parts. What about the buffers? Are these separately fitted and separately painted? No, they're connected to the chassis. And there's a plastic support that runs underneath the buffers so that we haven't got to deal with separately fitting buffers at the factory and you haven't got to worry about separately fitted parts breaking off this thing. That is absolutely brilliant. And then the Santa's Express paintwork on the side here, this is literally just UV printed. So again, no painting involved. They put this into a machine and it just prints the decoration onto it. That is how they can produce a train set that you can buy for £35. A few other things this model has then, it's got a detailed smoke box door, as you can see. It does have a detailed cab interior, which is so awesome. So you've actually got controls and stuff inside the cab. That is more than I was expecting, shall we say. And we've even got a coal load in the coal bunker as well, which is either part of the chassis or it's a separate part. But again, that's really nice to see. Plus we've got the magnetic coupling on the back here, which isn't too sort of noticeable. I like that a lot. And then here are the wheels. It's only the rear axle that's driven here. The front one is just free to run along, as you can see. But we do have a little sort of connecting rod here, which is going to add a little bit of interest to the model. But this is not my favourite part of the train set. My favourite part is this, the open wagon. And this thing is a masterclass in design efficiency. It really has blown my mind. So the wagon itself is cool. It's made in the same way as the locomotive, so it's self-coloured, and then all of this beautiful paintwork is just literally printed onto it with a good quality, mind you, UV printer. So that's good, robust, no real paint. It's going to be hard wearing, whatever. I'm not so bothered about the wagon. It is this load that is the most incredible part. So again, zero painting on this piece, right? So we've got the main part, which is made of this sort of golden material. So the golden presents on the top, they are part of that base. Then if we look underneath, you can see that there is a green part which has been slotted up into the gold piece. And so the green presents that we can see on here are poking through it. Then we've got this blue piece which fits over the green, making it look like we've got blue presents sitting on top of the green presents. But that is all one piece. All of these blue parts are connected together. Then we have the yellow piece which fits over the blue piece like a jigsaw puzzle, covering up the connection between this blue part here and this blue part over here. Absolute genius. And then we've got a red moulded part made from red moulded plastic, which fits over the blue piece over here as well. So we've got a splash of red in the mix as well. So no painting at all. All of the different colours are just moulded that way in plastic and then assembled together like a jigsaw puzzle. Tell me that is not the cleverest thing you have ever seen. How do you create a multicoloured present load without any painting? I would have said that was impossible. But Hornby have done it. Absolutely genius. So with that, I think that's all we need to see really in terms of these models. So let me put the track together, let's get the train onto the track and let's see how it all works. Right, so playtrains has a new track design with new connectors which look like this. They work similar to the old playtrains track. I had a play with this at Hornby's stand at the NEC, but it's slightly different. So I don't know whether these are compatible with the old playtrains track. I don't actually have an old playtrain set, so I can't test it, but I have to say these are very, very easy to put together. You just line up the clips and push them together, and that's it. Plus, because there's a clip on both sides, they're universal, so if you invert a track piece, you can put them together in exactly the same way and that will work. So that means if you buy some more of the playtrains track, you can make custom layouts. You don't just have to make the circuit. But all I have at the moment is this circuit, so let's put this together and let's see what it looks like. So there you have it, nice little circuit of track here, which is exactly Christmas tree sized. So this really is designed to go under the Christmas tree, but again, the track pieces can be used to do other things if you buy more of the track or put multiple sets together. So lots of options here. Let's get the train onto the track though. Right, let's start with the engine first then, which does have traction tyres on it. So once it's on the track, it's kind of hard to push it along. Then with the rolling stock, obviously these connect magnetically, but they'll only connect one way. So let's see if I can get one of these the wrong way. Nope, that was the right way. Gosh, they're strong. Very, very strong. So you could put big trains together as well with this stuff because they're strong magnets. There you go, look. So they are, just like the old Brio trains, repelling each other there, which is quite cool actually. You can make the train run away. So yeah, one way only with the couplings, which is fair enough. There we go, that's what the train looks like, and it couples together really closely, actually. Anyway, ready to press the button. Let's watch this and let's hear what it sounds like. Here goes. Okay, so when I first switched this on, I thought it was going to be that awful cheap Chinese sound chip that makes that awful racket. What it does is when you first start it off, it whistles, then the whistle shuts up and it just chuffs. And then once in a while you get an extra sound effect. I've just heard Santa say Merry Christmas. I wonder if there's... Oh, there's a bell. Oh, that's actually so awesome. That's really good. And because it's got a proper speaker in it, I'll show you the speaker in just a second, it actually sounds pretty good. It's not too tinny sounding. Let's see if we get any other sound effects. Yeah, Santa says, oh, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Very nice. And of course, if we push the button again, we can keep the train running without any sound, which is really useful. So the limitations that this locomotive does have that the old playtrain stuff didn't have was that it's one speed only. There's no way to slow this down or speed it up. It just runs at the single speed. And there's also no option for a reverse speed as well. So it literally just runs and that's it. With the old playtrain stuff or the remote controlled playtrain stuff, with those you had multiple speed options, you could send it backwards and stuff. You can't do that with this, so that's a shame. Yeah, I appreciate the simplicity and I think that makes sense, but yeah, just bear in mind, all this train can do is move forwards with sound or without it, but that's it. Right, let me show you what's inside the engine then, because that is very interesting. Right, so to be clear, there's no reason to remove the loco body. I'm purely doing this for interest, just to show you what's on the inside. There's no maintenance requirements for this loco at all, but undoing 2 screws did allow me to remove the body. And here is the chassis, which is a basic plastic chassis with quite a lot crammed onto it. So we've got the rechargeable battery. I assume this is a lithium-ion battery at a guess. 3.7 volt, I think it is. We've got the LED at the front, which is warm white. That lights up when the loco runs and when it's being charged, which is cool. We've got just a basic 3-pole motor here, which drives the rear axle. The rear axle does have traction tyres on it, of course, to enable the loco to haul a decent amount. Then we've got the circuit board on the top with the button. This is what the green dome presses against when you push it, so that's how the loco is operated. And then we have a proper speaker, which looks just like the type of speaker Hornby tends to fit in their usual models. And as a result of that, the sound quality is fantastic. As we heard, it doesn't distort or anything, it sounds great. Plus, it's not too loud, so parents aren't going to be absolutely fuming with this thing after 5 minutes and accidentally on purpose end up stamping on the thing. Yeah, it's not too loud, it's not too obnoxious, it's a pretty good sound system overall. Let's just demonstrate charging the battery then. Right, so far I have not charged this engine yet. I've been using it for kind of 30 minutes now, and it still works. Which means it comes at least with some charge in it. So if you're buying this for a youngster as a Christmas present or a birthday present, you don't have to worry about opening this up and charging it first. You can leave it and it should work for them straight away. But anyway, I've got my USB port here. I'm going to plug the cable into it. There we go. Oh, or not, because I'm clumsy. And then this is just a standard USB-C, so you can use a USB-C cable of your own too if you want. Plug that into the base like that. And as the instructions said, we've now got a flashing LED on the front. That tells you that it's all connected up and working. And then once this LED stops flashing and becomes steady, that tells you that the loco is charged and you can unplug it and carry on playing with it. I think this is a lithium-ion battery. It doesn't actually say anywhere on the box or in the instructions what kind of battery it is, but assuming it is a lithium-ion, you don't have to worry about discharging this before putting it on charge, nor do you have to make sure it's fully charged before you use it. They're quite free and easy. They don't really develop a memory, so yeah, it's great. You can charge it whenever you want and just have it ready to use whenever. So there we go. Brilliant, brilliant bit of design. Is that Mike? That sounds a bit like Mike from their YouTube channel. Maybe they used him for the recording, I don't know. It's good though. And just to prove the point, here it is running on my normal layout. Now, this is running on the metal tracks, but the controller is powered off. This is still running throughout the battery. You can only run this loco with its batteries, obviously. It doesn't have metal wheels to pick up power by any other means. But as you can see, works fine on all model railway curves, seems to handle points okay as well. So it's a very versatile little train actually, and for 35 quid, I cannot fault it. So if you fancy one of these, affiliate links down in the description. I can recommend this thing. And let's just walk through the highlights now with some ratings. So level of detail is not 0 star, it's just I don't think anyone buying this train set is going to care about the level of detail, so detail's not a part of this review. Performance though I will rate, so the sound quality is fantastic, it's not too loud, it's not distorting, it's as palatable as a toy train sound can possibly be. It's a nice smooth runner, it seems reliable, good battery life as well. On the downside though, there's only one speed here, you can't run it faster or slower, it's just a single speed. There's also no reverse gear with this, so it has to go in forwards direction, plus there's no remote control. A really fun thing about the other playtrain stuff was the ability to control them remotely. You can't do that with this. I mean, maybe it would work with a remote if you got one, maybe the tech's on board, but the set itself doesn't come with one. So 3 star on performance, bit of a mixed bag. Same thing with the mechanism. Now, the mechanism is not a big deal here, is it really? It's a toy grade mechanism. It's robust enough. It should last a childhood with a little bit of care, but it's quite plasticky. Obviously, it doesn't have any of the features that a serious model would have. Not a surprise, but worth saying. The quality though is 5 star. Now I'm not rating this in the same way as I would rate a normal model. I'm looking at it in terms of what it's intended to be, and yeah, it's well done. It's robust, we haven't got little tiny parts that are going to break off. The decoration is really simple, so it should last. UV printed details do seem to be quite hard wearing. It's not going to be too easy to break this. Obviously, some toys are more robust than this. It's a relatively fine model, and things like the side rods on the loco will be a little bit fragile, so you can't throw it around too much, but I would say for what you get here, it is a beautifully made set. And the value for money, £40 is the full price, or £35.99. Yeah, marvellous. This is the best battery operated train set I've ever seen. I've never had one with a rechargeable battery before, I've never had one so nicely made and so nicely painted, and I've never had one before whose sound didn't make me murderous. So yeah, actually really, really good value. For what you get here, it is a marvellous price. So overall that is 8.28 out of 10, or a grade of B. Highly recommend this. If you've got a youngster that's interested in trains, this or the non-Christmassy version of this comes highly recommended from me. Well then folks, that will just about do it for Hornby's new playtrains Santa's Express train set. I'm a big fan of this. I think they've done such a good job of it, and it has solved all of the problems, or at least the vast majority of the problems, that the older playtrain stuff had. So can't wait to see where this goes in the future, can't wait to see what comes next. Stay tuned if you enjoyed this. I will be covering more playtrain stuff as it comes out, and we'll see if I can't build up a bit of a collection here. For now though, thanks again for watching. Again, affiliate links in the description if you're interested. We will leave this one there. Thanks for watching folks. I'll catch you on the next one.